Oh, welcome back to the next episode of 15 Minutes in the Basement. I'm Nick, and this is my
Merrill.
Merrill, my co-host. Um, yeah, we're super excited. Last time we met together, we actually talked about some of the collections and what it means to collect, and we kind of precursed this episode because one of the things that both of us, me lesser, collected was video games. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our first recollections and the history of video games and us. Now, both of us grew up mainly in the 90s. I was born in the early 80s. So most of my recollection in childhood was late 80s and the 90s going into the 2000s. So it really hits home for us because we got to see video games before they were what they are and see the progression that happened. Now, that being said, I do understand that the progression of video games, the early iterations of the computer games and stuff happened before I was born. But let me say, like I said in previous, we didn't have money to spend on what was new and what was hot. So we actually got to live like we were back in the 70s and 80s, early 80s as kids, because we got the stuff that wasn't cool anymore, and we got to live like it was cool because it was the first time we got introduced. One of the first recollections of video games I ever had is obviously like Pong type stuff, but there was a game. It was like a jungle theme, had like vines and ladders and stuff and little platforms, kind of like Donkey Kong. But
Jungle Hunt.
was it called Jungle Hunt?
Jungle Hunt. So you do the vines first, and then you swim with the alligators. I mean, you jump the boulders. The very end. That's Jungle Hunt.
That's Jungle Hunt. This one was a different one. It was
Congo Bongo.
maybe, but it was on a computer, and you had floppy disks. Yeah, that's right. Most of you people don't even know what a floppy disk is if you are 20 years or younger. You may know if you're older than 20 that floppy disks used to be what was before disk drive, which a lot of you don't even know what a disk drive is. That then
Floppy
became
disks go in a disk drive.
yeah, they just took the floppy disk and put it in a hard case and made it smaller. But then CDs came out. Wow, well, let's not move forward that far yet. But I remember sitting watching my father play that game.
You haven't gone back far enough. We had the pet computer.
Well, that was later though. We got the pet computer. We got the pet computer post.
Right, but if you're going the actual timeline here, we're talking cassette tapes on the pet computer, right? You put the cassette tape in, it loads for about 4 or 5 minutes, and then you're playing horse race.
Horse race.
The pi symbol is the horse, and you're going through a vertical shaft that shifts left and right, and you've got to move quick enough that you don't smash the wall.
I'm still the champion, by the way. 17 and a half minutes. 17 and a half minutes, I moved my fingers back and forth as that little horse symbol went between the X's.
I don't remember how it. So it was last the longest. 17 minutes was your record, is what you're saying?
Yeah, dude. I sat for 17 and a half minutes moving my fingers faster and faster and faster.
Faster, yeah.
And I think it maxed out, dude. I don't think it got any faster. I just got tired because almost 20 minutes of and for some reason I was on my knees. I wasn't sitting in a chair. Anyway.
Well, you kept it on the ground. So I remember that. It wasn't like on a desk or anything. It literally, someone just gave it to us, right? They said, we're done with this. You want it? I don't even remember where it came from, but there was no space for it. But as kids, we wanted to.
We put it in our room.
We just threw it it was on the floor in one of the rooms, and
yeah,
it was loaded up.
Yeah, and that's true. We had that, but we also had an Atari 1600, I believe.
2600.
26.
No, I don't think we even had the 2600. I think we had the next iteration, the 4800. I believe it's the 4800.
Something. I just remember
The joysticks weren't traditional.
they were elongated.
Yeah, they were. I think it was the next iteration.
Yeah, they had like
Larger
two buttons
cartridges.
and a joystick. Larger cartridge, probably. I was just blown away. Like, you could actually go to the mall, and they still had Atari games that fit our Atari system in the mall. And Al Unser Jr. Racing was it was pole position. Sorry, my bad. Pole position. Pole position. Al Unser Jr. came later. Pole position. I played that game so hard that my thumb went numb from pushing on the accelerator button. Like, I literally could not feel my thumb for like an hour. And it calloused. Like, I remember sitting in front of that TV for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, it's got to be the Atari 5200 or the 7800. Probably 7800. When they used to just do numbers. Do you recognize this bad boy? The rainbow on it? That's the one I think we had.
I actually remember this one right here, the 52.
52.
It's a 52.
It wasn't the 26, which 100, which was the most common.
Yeah, we got the 52. But I do remember being so excited. Our dad actually finally he put in a competition that we could earn Atari games. And I was so super excited, but then I lost. Now, my youngest brother, he actually was on target to hit the goal, and and the day that he had actually made it, Merrill was so angry that he sabotaged him.
I rigged the contest so that he would not get the game.
Yeah, which is messed up because you would have been able to play it.
Yeah, well, it was a competitive thing, right? I had not made the target, and he had. But to be fair, I was maybe 7, 8. I mean,
yeah, we're pretty young.
Let's put this in the right context here. I was a young kid, and my younger brother had bested me at Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, so when the truth came out, and it did, we actually did get to go to the mall. I still remember going to the mall because we never went to the mall. We went never. So we were going in the mall, and up on the wall, all the Atari games that my younger brother could choose from, and he picked one. I think it was called Raid.
Air Raid.
Air Raid.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and it was you could fly a plane and dodge all the stuff, right? And I was so excited. Like, that moment was like, we finally got something from a store that wasn't like a hand-me-down or kick back or we're getting rid of this thing. Do you want it? It was actually a real thing. That was the one game I still have, by the way. I still have that game.
The original
R game? I don't think it was the original R game that we got from the mall, but it stuck out in my mind so much that when I saw it at DI or wherever.
Even though you don't have the hardware to play it, you just have the game, right?
Yeah, I just have the game.
That's insane.
I don't even have the Atari. I just have that game. But I remember I did spend like $15 on Atari games that absorbed into your collection, and I'm fine with that. I don't care. But because I don't play them, and they're kind of just collection pieces.
I don't recall this, but
that's okay. Anyway, so what's the next video game system that you remember past the Atari?
So, we didn't get a lot of new systems, and the Atari was a Christmas gift.
Yep.
So we didn't think it came from our parents.
Yeah, we thought it came from Santa.
So, the next system we received or we got in our home was the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and that came from a cousin who had 2 systems, which is he was an only child. His parents were our aunt was well-to-do, so he had 2 of those, and I believe it was our father convinced him to kick us one, so we got one of those 2, and it had Mario, like Super Mario, right?
And Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
It didn't come with Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
We got Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
Are you kidding me?
A month later.
I know that was the first game I saw on the NES at our cousin's house was Punch-Out. And everyone was taking turns. Of course, he owned the game. He was doing well. My older brothers. I'm the third, right? So I watched my 2 older brothers try the game and do okay. And finally, after about 2 hours of watching, they gave me one turn, and Glass Joe knocked the crap out of me. And then they kicked me off. Oh, you suck. Get out of here. And I never got to play it again that day.
And I didn't get to play again either, by the way.
Yeah, we have an older brother who domineered whenever it came to screen time, right? So the same thing happened. We got the NES, and if it wasn't the older, it was you. I never got to play it. I never, literally, maybe in the year we had that system, the Nintendo, I maybe played 2-3 hours max.
You played a little bit more when we weren't there.
No, I'm serious. I did not play it. I had no chance. If I started to, someone would take over with
my turn.
Maximum force.
Hey, I wasn't the one doing that.
Yeah.
I was the one usually getting kicked off.
The bottom line was,
which means I had more playing time.
It was a time sink. Yeah, it was a time sink, and it was a point of contention between us. There's only one. Usually, they're one-player games. Only one person playing, and yeah. So my mother got rid of it. She didn't like it. She didn't like us spending a lot of time on the games, wasting our time.
But it did happen after we got Dr. Mario for Christmas.
And that's part of the problem in her mind, right?
Because the person that played Dr. Mario was our father.
Yes. So I had asked for Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade, which is
the
best game ever. And our father said
Tecmo.
No, I think
Tecmo Super Bowl beats it out.
For the age of the game and what they were able to do with it, sure, I'll give you that. So in depth. So we wanted Ninja Turtles, and our father said it's too violent. There's too much violence there. People are being beat up, but I told him they're robots. They blow up. It's not a human. It's a machine. So he nixed the turtles and got what he wanted.
Mario.
Which is often the case for Christmas.
Santa got what he wanted.
Yeah. Santa never really got to get anything for himself. So Christmas was his chance to get something he could share with the kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. And there was some good stuff.
Well, Dr. Mario actually was the better game.
It was a way better game
than Ninja. Yeah. Dr. Mario for our family is a legendary as far as competitions. 2-player. So is the Turtles. Either one would have been fine, but I was really disappointed to find Dr. Mario Christmas morning. But that really sucked our father's time, and our mother got rid of the system. So goodbye NES. Until years later, I decided to collect because I never got playtime. Now it's going to be mine.
And nobody can stop me.
Well, surprisingly, even if it's mine.
Even if it's yours. You had to get your own TV before nobody could stop you.
Even then.
No. Whoa.
Oh, even then.
Yeah, I'm just glad you didn't bring up me playing a game so late in the night I fell asleep with a blanket over me to keep the light down and overheated your system, and I put it out the window in the middle of winter.
Right.
Yeah.
And it crackled a bit.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Be good.
It didn't work for a while.
Yeah, it's got to be good for the motherboard.
But anyway, so then after NES, it just became a bug, man. We were playing 64 was the next thing.
I mean, that's years later, though.
Yeah, it's years later.
Our mother nixed the games, and it was years before we could spend our own money and get what we wanted.
Yeah,
and by then, she had no choice but to let us play our games.
Exactly. Well, that actually brings us pretty close to 15 minutes in the basement. So
it's all the time we get. So
that's
all you get.
There's more. Maybe we'll talk about it at another time.
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe.
I'm done.
See you next time.
Okay, bye.